Welcome back to our channel World of Coins, the place where we uncover hidden treasures in your coin collection. Have you ever wondered if that old coins could be worth thousands or even millions? Well, today's your lucky day. We're diving into some of the rarest and most valuable US coins that might be sitting right under your nose. Let's jump in and see if you've got a fortune waiting to be discovered. Top 1. The coins we carry in our pockets often pass through our hands without a second thought, used for a morning coffee, tossed into a tip jar, or forgotten in a car's cup holder. But every so often, hidden in plain sight, one of these coins holds a story so rare and valuable that it could change the way we look at loose change forever. One such coin is the 1971 Washington quarter dollar, a piece of American currency that, to the untrained, looks like any ordinary quarter. But collectors and numismatists know differently, because within the world of rare coins, the 1971 quarter is something of a legend. It's a coin with mystery, with history, and with value far beyond its face. Today, we're diving deep into this overlooked relic from the past to explore why it has captured the imagination of collectors around the world and how one of these quarters ended up commanding a staggering price at auction. The Washington quarter has long been a staple of American currency, first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington. Over the decades, it became a mainstay in wallets and cash registers across the country, going through various design updates and metal compositions. By 1971, the quarter was well into its copper-nickel-clad era, having made the transition from the 90% silver coins that circulated up until 1964. Millions upon millions of quarters were struck in 1971, most of them coming out of the Philadelphia and Denver mints. These coins were made for spending, not for collecting, and most were used in everyday transactions, paying for bus fares, snacks, or parking meters. However, as any coin collector will tell you, quantity doesn't necessarily mean commonness. Within these massive production runs, a few extraordinary coins slipped through, coins with errors, anomalies, or exceptionally preserved conditions that now stand out like diamonds among gravel. So, what makes the 1971 Washington quarter dollar such a rare and sought-after treasure? First, there are the minting errors. The U.S. Mint, for all its precision, has had its share of mishaps over the years. These mistakes can include double die errors, off-center strikes, missing mint marks, or coins struck on the wrong planchet. In the case of the 1971 quarter, there have been confirmed instances of coins struck on leftover silver blanks, a curious accident considering that silver had been officially phased out years earlier. Such an error would be exceptionally rare and instantly make the coin a collector's dream. Then there's the matter of condition. A coin that's been kept in pristine condition, never circulated, free of wear and tear, and with a sharp, detailed strike, can command a much higher price. When combined with a minting error, that's when the coin's value truly enters the stratosphere. Collectors have always had a keen eye for coins like the 1971 quarter, hunting for those elusive errors and rare varieties that could make all the difference in their collection, or their wallets. Over the years, a handful of 1971 quarters have surfaced with characteristics that defy their original 25-cent purpose. Some show rare die variations or striking anomalies that make them one of a kind. When these coins are authenticated and professionally graded at the highest levels, their value increases exponentially. Imagine the surprise of someone who pulled a 1971 quarter from an old change jar, only to discover that it had the right combination of rarity, error, and condition to be something truly special. That exact situation has played out before, and the results were nothing short of stunning. In one remarkable case, a 1971 Washington quarter was discovered in nearly flawless condition, preserved with such care that it maintained its original mint luster. It was later confirmed to have a striking error, an unusual die alignment that made it extremely rare. After being authenticated by a top grading service, the coin went to auction where it quickly attracted attention from serious collectors. Bidding was intense, as numismatists recognize the coin's unique features and its historical significance. As the bids climbed higher and higher, it became clear this wasn't just a rare find, it was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And when the final hammer fell, the winning bid reached an eye-popping total. That single 1971 Washington quarter, which could have easily been spent at a gas station or lost in a couch, sold for $135,000. This incredible sale serves as a powerful reminder that treasure doesn't always come in the form of gold bars or buried chests. Sometimes, it's sitting quietly in your pocket, waiting for the right set of eyes to recognize its true value. So next time you come across an old quarter, especially one from 1971, take a moment to examine it closely. That small coin might just hold a hidden fortune, and you could be holding one of the most valuable pieces of modern American coinage ever struck. Top 2. Most people would never glance twice at a simple quarter. It's a coin that we often ignore, toss into a tip jar, or lose under the car seat. But what if I told you that one very specific quarter, minted in the year 1986, could be worth more than a luxury car, or even a house? Yes, the United States of America Washington quarter dollar from 1986 might look ordinary, but in the world of coin collectors and rare currency enthusiasts, this unassuming piece of metal could be hiding a story, and a value, that defies all expectations. Today, we're taking a deep and fascinating dive into the overlooked treasure that is the 1986 Washington quarter, and why it has become one of the most talked about coins in the numismatic world. The Washington quarter has been a staple of American currency since its first introduction in 1932. Created to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth, it quickly became a permanent part of U.S. coinage. The design, featuring a left-facing portrait of Washington on the obverse and an eagle with outstretched wings on the reverse, remained mostly unchanged for decades. But while the coin remained visually consistent, the materials and minting techniques evolved. By 1986, the Washington quarter was being produced in a copper-nickel-clad composition, with billions of them struck at the Philadelphia and Denver mints for regular circulation. That year didn't mark a major anniversary, nor did it usher in any dramatic design changes. It was, in most ways, a typical production year. But as seasoned collectors will tell you, sometimes it's the ordinary years that hide the rarest gems. So, what could possibly make a 1986 quarter so valuable? The answer lies in the tiny details that most of us miss but that can mean everything in the world of coin collecting. It might be a minting error, such as a double die obverse, where the lettering or date appears slightly doubled due to a misalignment during the minting process. It could be a coin struck on the wrong planchet, like one intended for a foreign coin or a different denomination altogether. Sometimes, it's an off-center strike, where the design is not properly aligned with the coin's edge. And in the most extreme cases, it's a combination of rarity, flawless preservation, and historical significance that transforms a simple 25-cent piece into a prized artifact. The 1986 quarter has surfaced with such rare errors, coins that were struck under unusual circumstances or preserved in stunningly pristine condition. These aren't your everyday quarters. They're ultra-rare survivors that collectors dream of finding. To add another layer of intrigue, grading plays a crucial role in determining a coin's value. A quarter pulled from circulation with scratches and wear might still be worth something, but a 1986 quarter that has been perfectly preserved, untouched, uncirculated, and shining with original mint luster, can be worth exponentially more. Coins graded at the highest levels by professional services like PCGS or NGC are incredibly rare. When such a coin also exhibits a striking error or an anomaly, its value skyrockets. Collectors from around the world compete for a chance to add one to their collection. These aren't just pieces of metal. They're historical artifacts, works of minting art, and tangible symbols of rarity. Now imagine this scenario: a person going through an old coin jar finds a 1986 quarter. At first glance, it looks like all the others. But on closer inspection, it reveals an unusual strike pattern. They take it to a professional appraiser, who instantly realizes it's something special. The coin is authenticated, graded, and put up for auction. What started as a common coin becomes the focus of intense bidding from seasoned collectors, each one recognizing the coin's rarity. After an exciting auction with bids climbing higher and higher, the final price leaves everyone stunned. That single 1986 Washington quarter, once assumed to be worth 25 cents, was sold for an unbelievable amount. And that amount was $105,000. This is not just a story about coins. It's a story about overlooked value, about hidden history, and about how something small and forgotten can become something truly extraordinary. The next time you're handed a quarter in change, don't just drop it in your pocket without a thought. Take a closer look. You might just be holding a piece of American treasure. And who knows? It might be a 1986 Washington quarter with a hidden secret, one that could make you $105,000 richer. Top 3. Imagine reaching into your pocket and pulling out a coin you've probably seen hundreds of times before, a Washington quarter from 1979. At first glance, it seems like just another quarter, a coin you might use to feed a parking meter or grab a soda. But what if I told you that this simple, silver-colored piece of metal could be a hidden treasure? What if that same 1979 Washington quarter is not worth just 25 cents, but a jaw-dropping fortune? In today's video, we're uncovering the fascinating story behind the 1979 Washington quarter dollar, a coin that has stunned collectors and casual coin hunters alike, and we're diving deep into why this specific year has become one of the most sought after for numismatists around the world. The Washington quarter has been a mainstay of U.S. coinage since it was first introduced in 1932, honoring the first president of the United States, George Washington. The obverse, or front of the coin, features his iconic profile, a design created by sculptor John Flanagan. The reverse side for the coins minted between 1932 and 1998 displays a majestic eagle with outstretched wings, perched on a bundle of arrows and framed by olive branches, symbolizing both military strength and peace. While the design may seem familiar, not all quarters are created equal, and when it comes to the 1979 edition, some extraordinary examples have emerged that have rocked the world of rare coin collecting. Let's talk about why the 1979 quarter, of all years, has caught the attention of collectors. First, it's important to understand that the vast majority of 1979 quarters were made from a copper-nickel-clad composition and minted in enormous quantities at the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints. Most of them are extremely common and remain in circulation today. However, what sets a select few of these coins apart are their errors and condition. In some rare instances, 1979 quarters have been discovered with striking minting mistakes, such as off-center strikes, double dies, or being struck on the wrong planchet, possibly even a planchet meant for a foreign coin. These errors are extremely rare and often go unnoticed until a sharp-eyed collector stumbles upon them. When authenticated by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC, these coins become incredibly valuable. Another key factor in the value of a 1979 Washington quarter is its grade, or condition. A coin that's been in circulation for decades and shows heavy wear might not be worth more than its face value. But a 1979 quarter that was never circulated, kept in pristine condition with its original mint luster intact, and graded at the highest level, such as MS 67 or higher, becomes a whole different story. High-grade coins are few and far between, and when combined with a rare error, they become extremely desirable to collectors willing to pay top dollar for that perfect specimen. The law of rarity rules the world of coin collecting, and when a coin checks multiple boxes for rarity, condition, and historical intrigue, it commands serious attention at auctions. Stories have emerged of lucky individuals who found these rare 1979 quarters tucked away in old collections, hidden in sock drawers, or buried in jars of loose change. At first glance, nothing seemed special about them, until a closer inspection revealed the unique traits that make them standout collectibles. In one case, a collector discovered a 1979 quarter with a dramatic off-center strike and flawless surfaces. After sending it off to a professional grader, the coin came back with an extremely high grade and was eventually sold to an enthusiastic bidder. The value that coin fetched wasn't just a few $100s. It wasn't even a few thousand. That coin, once overlooked as spare change, sold for an astonishing amount that left everyone in the room speechless. What makes stories like this even more exciting is that they serve as a reminder that treasures can be found in the most unexpected places. The next time you're counting your change or going through an old coin collection, remember that history might be sitting right in your palm. The 1979 Washington quarter dollar isn't just a coin. In the right circumstances, with the right condition or error, it becomes a piece of American heritage, a collector's dream, and a symbol of unexpected wealth. And now, for the part that brings this entire story into crystal clear focus. One extraordinary example of the 1979 Washington quarter dollar, due to its immaculate condition and the rare mint error it displayed, was sold to a private collector for the jaw-dropping sum of $125,000. That's right. A coin that many would dismiss as mere pocket change turned out to be worth more than most people's annual salary. So the next time you see a quarter, don't just walk past it, take a closer look. You never know when history and fortune will find their way into your hands. Top 4. Have you ever looked at the change in your pocket and wondered if any of those coins could be worth a fortune? It's something many of us overlook. After all, a quarter is just 25 cents, right? But what if that quarter wasn't just any coin? What if one specific coin, something as ordinary seeming as a 1974 Washington quarter dollar, could actually be hiding a massive value behind its familiar face? Today, we're about to uncover the fascinating story of how one coin from 1974, yes, a simple Washington quarter, has stunned collectors and casual enthusiasts alike by turning up in rare forms worth an incredible amount of money. So get ready, because you might never look at your spare change the same way again. The Washington quarter has been in circulation for decades, first introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington. Since then, it's become one of the most common coins in American pockets and registers. But while millions of these quarters were struck and distributed each year, a very small number have something unique, something that makes them stand out in the world of numismatics, the study and collection of coins. That's exactly the case with the 1974 Washington quarter dollar, which has recently gained attention for its hidden and extraordinary value under the right conditions. So what makes a 1974 quarter so special? The answer lies in a combination of rarity, minting errors, and condition. Most 1974 quarters were struck using a standard copper-nickel clad composition, and they were produced at the Philadelphia and Denver mints in large numbers. But occasionally, a coin is struck in a way that defies the norm. Maybe it has a double die error, or it was struck on a blank meant for a different coin entirely. These anomalies are incredibly rare, and when discovered, they can increase a coin's value dramatically. Imagine finding a 1974 quarter with a striking mint error, like an off-center strike or a misaligned die that creates a shadowy double image of Washington's profile. Or perhaps it was struck on a silver planchet left over from earlier years, an error that shouldn't exist in theory, but has been documented in a small number of examples. Add to that a high-grade condition, like MS-67 or higher, where the coin retains all of its original luster, sharp detail, and no visible wear. When a 1974 quarter ticks all these boxes, it becomes something much more than pocket change. It becomes a rare artifact worthy of serious attention from collectors around the globe. The value of such coins often skyrockets at auctions, especially when they're verified and graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC. Collectors compete to own the rarest, most pristine examples, and that competition drives prices to levels most people wouldn't believe. That's why stories have emerged of people discovering valuable quarters in old coin jars or family collections, completely unaware of their worth until a coin expert points it out. These stories aren't just urban legends, they're real, and they continue to inspire treasure hunters to look closer at their everyday change. But even without errors, a flawless 1974 Washington quarter in mint state condition is a rarity. Most coins from that era were heavily circulated, meaning they show signs of wear and tear from years of handling. Finding one that appears almost brand new, as if it just left the mint, is like discovering a time capsule from the past. And for collectors, that level of preservation is worth paying a premium. It's fascinating to think how something as small and simple as a quarter could carry so much historical, aesthetic, and monetary value. The 1974 Washington quarter is more than just currency, it's a symbol of how ordinary objects can hold extraordinary worth when viewed through the right lens. Whether it's because of a rare error, outstanding condition, or just the thrill of the hunt, this coin has carved out a unique space in the world of collectible currency. Now comes the part that truly captures the imagination. Among the known examples of the 1974 Washington quarter dollar, there exists one coin that has reached a staggering value not due to its material, but because of its perfect condition and incredibly rare mint era. That particular coin stunned the numismatic world when it sold for the unbelievable amount of $132,000. Yes, a quarter, worth 25 cents to most people, sold for a life-changing sum of money. So before you toss your coins into a vending machine or ignore the change in your drawer, take a moment to look closely. The next great discovery might just be hiding in plain sight. Top 5. Have you ever held a coin in your hand and wondered if it was more than just spare change? Maybe it's passed through hundreds of hands, paid for countless morning coffees, or sat quietly in a forgotten jar, but what if that very coin could secretly be worth a small fortune? That's the unbelievable truth when it comes to certain Washington quarter dollars. Today, we're focusing on the 1981 Washington quarter dollar, a seemingly ordinary piece of American currency that has become the talk of collectors for its hidden value, rare features, and jaw-dropping auction price that has left coin enthusiasts around the world stunned. The Washington quarter has a long and storied history in U.S. coinage. Introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th birthday of America's first president, it was never intended to become a permanent fixture in American currency, but due to its popularity, the design stuck around and evolved over the years. By 1981, the quarter had long been part of everyday American life. Millions were produced that year, mostly at the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints. But, as with all mass production, there were a few surprises, unexpected anomalies that turned a handful of these coins into coveted treasures. Now, here's where things get interesting. While the majority of 1981 quarters are made of standard copper-nickel clad composition, some of these coins left the mint under very unusual conditions. Certain examples have been discovered with minting errors so rare, they're considered once-in-a-lifetime finds. These include double die strikes, off-center designs, and even quarters accidentally struck on planchets intended for other coins, such as dimes or foreign currency blanks. These errors, while invisible to the average person, are like golden tickets in the world of numismatics. And when combined with near-perfect condition, what collectors refer to as mint state, or even proof-like, their value skyrockets. Collectors and investors alike seek out these rare 1981 quarters with unrelenting passion. They are hunted down at estate sales, coin shows, and hidden inside old coin rolls from the bank. One of the most exciting aspects of coin collecting is the thrill of the unknown. Anyone can stumble upon one of these rare coins. They're not locked away in museums or only owned by the ultra-wealthy. They could be sitting in your kitchen drawer right now, waiting to be rediscovered, adding to their allure. 1981 also marked a transitionary period in minting technology and quality control. This means some coins from this era exhibit unique flaws that wouldn't appear in earlier or later mintages. Some collectors specifically target coins from this time for their unusual variations, knowing how quickly values can climb once a rare specimen is authenticated by grading companies like PCGS or NGC. Let's not forget the visual appeal of the Washington quarter. The obverse proudly displays George Washington's dignified profile, while the reverse, featuring the heraldic eagle, evokes the strength and spirit of the nation. When you hold a pristine 1981 quarter, you're not just touching metal, you're holding a piece of American legacy. The sharp details, the clean fields, and the precise strike make high-grade examples of this coin an absolute joy for numismatists to study and admire, but here's the climax of the story. In recent years, a particularly rare and perfectly preserved 1981 Washington quarter was discovered, boasting a remarkable mint error and nearly flawless grade. When this coin came up for auction, seasoned collectors battled fiercely to add it to their collections. And when the final hammer fell, the sale price sent shockwaves through the coin-collecting world. That single quarter, minted in 1981, sold for an eye-popping total of $95,000. So the next time you get a quarter and change, take a closer look, check the year, examine the surface, and keep your eyes peeled for anything unusual. Because one ordinary-looking coin could be your unexpected gateway to a fortune. The world of rare coins is full of surprises, and your next big discovery might just be resting in the palm of your hand.